Jim Caldwell in his fourth season trying to get the Lions to the playoffs for the third time. And John Harbaugh, year number 10, the winningest coach in Ravens franchise history. And a man who knows a thing or two about the city of Baltimore. Correct me if I'm wrong, Peter Schrager. You were married in this great city.
I was. And Tom, the talk all week in Detroit was about Matthew Stafford's ankle. The ankle is fine. I watched him work out before the game. He's moving good. He said he worked with the trainers all week to get it right. Amir Abdullah, his running back, will be out for this one. So look for more from Theo Riddick. One note to make here. Jim Caldwell, head coach of the Lions, was the offensive coordinator of the Ravens when Joe Flacco and that 2013 team made their run for a Lombardi trophy. A lot of familiarity on both sides of the field for this one.
Sure is. Jim Caldwell's team coming off a very, very disappointing loss on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, you had so many things going your way. You're at home. You like your quarterback against Keenum, even though he's having a great year. And the Vikings pretty much dominated that game. Beautiful day here in Baltimore. Sunny, 54 degrees. Detroit won the toss. Will defer getting the football into the second half. So we'll get a look at this Baltimore offense right from the start. The 31st ranked offense in the NFL. And they were booed loudly after a 3-and-out on their opening possession in the ultimately win over Houston on Monday night. That one banged through the back of the end zone. And here comes a 32-year-old native of New Jersey, Joe Flacco. Started his college career at Pitt. Transferred to the University of Delaware, a first-round pick in 2008. 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions here in 2017.
Yeah, I just think him missing all of training camp and the timing and rhythm between the wide receivers, tight ends, everybody involved in the passing game has not been there. Now, could it get there today? That's the goal. And they looked good on Friday in practice.
One of the great stories is that man right there. And that's Alex Collins. Picked up from Seattle last week of the cut downs following the preseason. And up front for the Ravens, they've been mixing and matching all year long.
Yeah, you keep an eye on Ronnie Stanley today. He's going to have his hands full with Ziggy Ansah and possibly Dwight Freeney, who the Lions picked up a couple weeks ago to excite that pass rush.
Ravens have some weapons, and guys like Macklin and Wallace through the years, solid tight end, and Benjamin Watson, and now they have Danny Woodhead back, who's in motion. And starting way too early was Jared Davis. That's a rookie out of Florida who's had his ups and downs this season.
False start. Offense, number 34.
Oh, they had the
5-yard penalty
movement on the Baltimore
first
side. So against Collins, that's a big break.
There's Marty Morningwig, and one thing I think they're going to try to do today is get Jeremy Macklin involved, especially if they get him on a slot receiver and they can get a matchup with him on a linebacker or a safety. That's something that they like and something that they worked on. Somebody has to get involved with that receiving game, become a playmaker.
See the run game for Baltimore. In 5 games this year, the Ravens have rushed for 135 rushing yards or more. They've won every one of those games. Crowd is still booing after seeing the replay.
Neutral zone infraction.
And now they get it right, which we thought from the start. It was clearly on Jerry Davis.
First down.
Well, the other thing that did with Jared Davis jumping off sides like that, out of that one-back look that the Ravens showed, that showed the Ravens what the Lions want to do, their kind of adjustments. So Jared Davis not only got the penalty, but he also showed the Ravens what they're planning on doing as a potential audible to a certain formation that the Ravens run.
Pump fake. Fake handoff, and they dump it off to their leading receiver, the 36-year-old native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, Benjamin Watson, his 43rd reception of the year in the first half.
See this corner right here? Mike Wallace is going to be run wide and free. Watson does a good job of coming from the backside off the fake play action, but look at Wallace, who caught Slade or Lawson sitting down. Nobody's there deep. And the reason why I want to point that out, yes, it's a good gain for them, but they're lacking in any downfield attack. And when you have a guy like Wallace running free, you miss that opportunity for 6 points on the board. Now you got a good game. That's all great, but that's something they may come back to.
It's an 18-yard gain and into Detroit territory at the 47, and Flacco throws low and behind the intended target, Mike Wallace. Now this Detroit defense, when they had the former Raven standout Haloti Ngata healthy, this was a very good run defense. Since he went down, teams have run all over the Lions.
Yeah, they're giving up about 151 yards per game with the absence of Ngata. Tahir Whitehead's been a steady performer for them. In the back end, Darius Slay, the best cover guy, likes to challenge not only the offensive players he goes against, but likes to challenge his teammates.
Handed off to Danny Woodhead. And Woodhead, you may remember, got off to the phenomenal start on the very first series of the season in week 1. But he got hurt, missed the next 8 weeks before returning 2 weeks ago. What an outstanding weapon he is, basically to add here for the stretch run.
Yeah, certainly a receiving threat out of the backfield on certain third down situations.
Baltimore only 31% converting on third down. Only Cleveland is worse in the NFL. And right through the hands of Jeremy Maclin. That was a good throw by Flacco. That's not on him. Although I'm not sure that Maclin even ran a route to get to a first down.
Well, first of all, it's timing route. And we talked about timing and rhythm as Maclin's working out here on Slay. The ball's delivered perfectly by Joe Flacco. And again, with a team that's struggling offensively, they're not asking everybody to make a great play. Just make a play you're supposed to make, especially when the ball hits you right in the hands.
The Ravens will punt it. The AFC Special Teams Player of the Week is their punter, Sam Cook. And where are they going to mark it? At the 3-yard line. Boy, you talk about some weapons on special teams. Cook and Tucker. All right, Stafford and company get the football when we come back. Matthew Stafford making his 108th consecutive regular season start. Over 33,000 passing yards already in his career. And the quickest to do that in the history of the league. And on first down, they'll give it to Theo Riddick. Remember now, no Amir Abdullah here today. He's been bothered by a bad neck. And the rest of the Lions offense, big story, Travis Watson, their center, is out. Glasgow moves over to center. Corey Robinson to left guard. And a lot of weapons for Matthew Stafford.
And the thing that makes the Lions so hard to defend is that Matthew Stafford uses all those weapons. He makes you defend the whole field because he attacks you with every guy at his disposal.
And a 3 on first down for Riddick. And they're going to give it to him again. Tries to cut it back to the inside. This has been an outstanding Baltimore defense. That's been the story through this entire franchise's history. Since leaving Cleveland and coming to Baltimore, 26 takeaways, the most by any defense in the league.
Yeah, excellent space eaters inside. C.J. Mosley, leading tackler. Brandon Carr, not only good against the pass, but he had an excellent run fill on that last play. A physical corner.
Brandon Carr is starting his 156th consecutive game today. Third down, and Stafford's first throw is Ebron, and that'll be a first down for the big tight end out of North Carolina.
So there's a miscommunication between Carr and Tony Jefferson, number 23. Watch this right here, because you have to account for Ebron. Now their role in the safety is actually, excuse me, yeah, that is Tony Jefferson coming over the top, and he's late because they rolled the safeties away from the coverage and he was late getting there.
Stafford steps up, great protection, throws down the sideline and through the fingertips of the rookie Kenny Golladay.
And that's the tempo that we're talking about. Anytime that you're struggling getting going in the first quarter, getting rhythm, Matthew Stafford and Jim Bob Cooter certainly have the ability to go up tempo to keep a defense off balance.
Talked about Stafford, his 108th consecutive regular season start. Of course, Eli Manning's string of 210 comes to an end today. So Stafford has now put together the third longest active streak among quarterbacks behind Phillip Rivers, 187, and Matt Ryan, 126. Zach Zenner Out across the 20-yard line. It'll bring up third down, and we check in for the first time today with our good friend in Los Angeles, Miss Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Tom. We had a New Jersey opening drive of the game. What's been a struggling KC offense gets going on the right foot right there. Alex Smith connects with Travis Kelce for the 22-yard score. Chiefs up early, 7-0. And Tom, I got to get it out of the way. I'm sorry about Ohio State.
Well, I think you're saying I'm sorry to Mr. Spielman and me. Thank you, Carissa.
Big third down. Terrell Suggs matched up against Decker. Protection.
And they're coming after Stafford. Good protection and another drop. This one by Golden Tate, who is having an outstanding year, but he has become the invisible man in this offense. In that Thanksgiving Day game, Tate, among the best receivers in the league, had 4 catches for a total of 7 yards.
And that Golden Tate has to be a main factor in this offense, and he got a little excited, I think, for run after catch, but so far Ravens drop pass to keep a drive alive. Lions drop pass to keep a drive alive.
Putting the foot on it is Sam Martin, and this will drive Campanero back to the 30 and takes a big hit. Is there a penalty flag that comes in? Yes, there is. Looked like a late hit, perhaps by Paul Warlow, the former Atlanta Falcon.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team, number 58, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. Baltimore keeps the ball. First down, timeout.
Well, it goes without saying, if you're trying to get in the playoffs, penalties like this are not good. Gonna look at Federal Hill right alongside the water. Of course, in this area of the country, you're not too far from the water anyway. Beautiful weather weekend here in Baltimore, and the Ravens start in Lions territory, and that's Alex Collins. The gain of 8 on first down. Of course, Joe Flacco, right from the get-go, his rookie season of 2008 through the Super Bowl winning season of 2012, went 9-4 in the playoffs. He signed a huge money contract in March of 13. Since then, the Ravens have only been to the playoffs one time. Flacco with 1 win. He was the first quarterback in history to win a playoff game in each of his first 5 seasons. Russell Wilson joined him last year. Chris Moore coming the other way. And the Lions sniffed that out beautifully. Well done by Glover Quinn, the leader in that Detroit secondary.
That's a really nice job of Glover Quinn coming all the way about 20 yards deep. But one thing about Glover is he's smart and instinctive. And when you have a play that takes a long time to develop, it allows a playmaker like Glover Quinn to get a TFL, tackle for loss.
And I'm sure some of the Ravens fans have to be asking right from the get-go, you just run for 8 yards on a first down, and now some trickery, and you're backed up to 3rd and 6 where you've been dreadful. But they do make the completion and the conversion to Jeremy Maclin, and he'll run out of bounds at the Lions' 34-yard line to move the chain.
So communication problems in zone cause problems. Maben's going to come off and drop right here, but he's going to lose sight of Maclin coming across. We know that Maclin can run, and anytime Maben vacates that area, he recognizes too late. Macklin's off to the races. That's a communication problem and a young player problem of not seeing the speed of Maclin in zone coverage and being able to adjust, turn that zone into man.
First down, play action, and they dump it off to the big tight end, Nick Boyle. And he has another Baltimore first down to the 22-yard line. They use all 3 of their tight ends, Watson, Boyle, and to a lesser extent, Williams.
Down by contact, first down.
If you get the running game going on any type of screen right here, because of that, it draws everybody inside. Nick Boyle's left alone in the extra effort to get up over the top. But that's another way to get your passing game going too, right? It gives your quarterback confidence. It gets other receivers involved. It gives the defense something else to worry about. Screen game.
Empty backfield, blitz coming. Flacco gets rid of it to Wallace. And there to wrap him up is Darius Slay at the 20. That'll be a 3-yard gain. Second down. Ravens knocking on the door in this scoreless game midway through the opening quarter.
So they recognize that corners are playing off. They'll line up in man, but they're starting to play off and get a little bit of depth. And so what you do is get the ball into the hands of your playmakers and let them make plays in space. Watch 42. He usually takes you the football. Ricard lining up at fullback, the big fella.
They hand it off to Collins. And what a nice play made by the rookie Jared Davis. He was the first one to slow him down, had some help cleaning up.
Yeah, Jared Davis does excel in the run game. Strong tackler, gets a great fill, and I love the fact that he slips underneath the block of James Hurst. What I love as linebackers, if you can avoid taking on big guys that are 330 pounds and you're 240 pounds, you don't get in that fight with that guy. Use your quickness. Use what you have to avoid that, and yet still fill your gap responsibility.
All right, another third down, 3rd and 7. They converted 3rd and 6 a minute ago, and now Flacco is going to roll out looking down the field and just throws it away.
I think that's a good decision right there by Joe Flacco. Of throwing it away. The pressure's going to come from outside. Nothing open right away. They look for Macklin in the middle. He was covered well by Whitehead, and over the top he was doubled, and that's Dwight Freeney providing that pressure. Flacco made the good decision with a strong leg of Tucker coming in for the field goal. Get rid of it.
38-yard field goal try by one of the very, very best all time. And per usual for Justin Tucker. I mean, he's been that good through his first 6 years. Stafford and the Lions will try and answer 3-0 home team in front. Good look at the National Aquarium here in Baltimore. Great shots. Tucker, the 38-yard field goal. He has only missed 3 field goals all year long. And this one bobbled around. Zenner picks it up. And a decent return by Zenner up to the 25-yard line. Huge problem, as we talked about right from the get-go for the Lions this year. They've fallen behind 10 or more points in 7 of their first 11 games. 4 of their first 6, and now each of their last 3 against Cleveland, Chicago, and Minnesota. Detroit has come back to win 3 of the 7 against Arizona, the Browns, and Chicago, but they've been outscored, including the field goal today, in their last 3 games and a half of a quarter, 36-3.
And you fall behind by double digits, changes your game plan a little bit also. Put the ball in the air to get back in it.
Stafford to throw it on first down, fake the handoff to Riddick, delivers a throw to Riddick, and Riddick a big gain, still on his feet, all the way across midfield to the Baltimore 48-yard line for the dynamic Theo Riddick.
Well, first of all, I love guys that don't run out of bounds after they catch the ball. And Theo Riddick's going to give you everything he has on every play. This is just a check down and a good read by Matthew Stafford. But watch at the end. He very easily could have gone out of bounds, but no. He's going to do this. Stick it up in there and run hard.
Riddick inside the 45 and down to the 44-yard line. He now has a reception in 40 straight games. That's the longest active streak among all running backs in the NFL.
Here we go, no huddle here. You said Tom Riddick has been actually wanting more carries. He feels he can do better to help this running game.
Backup tight end Darren Fells on the reception, brings up 3rd down and 2.
So when you go quick game and no huddle, what you force the defense to do is to show their hand. So it gives Matthew Stafford a pre-snap read. Then you throw those quick outs, you're getting everybody running to that football. And it gives him a chance to survey the field as opposed to being in a huddle. He's surveying the field from where he's going to run the play. Got man coverage right here on the outside.
That's a long 2. After spotting that ball at the 41-yard line. Stafford pump fake. Comes across the middle. Back to the big fella, Darren Fells. And he is slammed down to the 33 by Owasso, and that is a first down.
Well, Owasso is 6 foot. right? And Fells is a former basketball player at 6'7", so let's do some basketball player techniques. Use this big body right here and basically just box him out. And Owasu could not get around the big fella in a matchup that Stafford liked, and he exploited it.
Now, Fells did not play football in college. Basketball player, in fact, played in 5 different countries overseas before giving football a shot with Seattle. Hand off to Riddick and looking for running room. Not much here. It brings up second down.
You should be encouraged if you're a Lions fan right now. Taylor Decker, who struggled his first 2 games back from a shoulder injury, has been pretty solid so far against Terrell Suggs. Now, they gave him a little help with Theo Riddick, but the more confidence he has as the game goes on, he'll get Riddick out into pass routes instead of chipping on the defensive end.
Fake it to Riddick, throwing to the corner, and it's incomplete. Excellent coverage. Down the sideline by Brandon Carr on really the guy who's become the primary weapon in this Detroit offense, and that's Marvin Jones Jr. Had another 100-yard effort on Thanksgiving against Minnesota, his third 100-yard receiving game in the last 5 weeks.
Especially in this area of the field. In the 4 games we've done, Marvin Jones has got touchdowns on that exact route Brandon Carr, number 24, the corner, was waiting for.
Play clock down to 5 on this 3rd and 8. And the ball is bobbled. And Stafford, it appears, covers it up. But now all of a sudden, what was certainly more than within range for Matt Prater. We'll see what they elect to do. I think they're going to punt it.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is a blown opportunity, obviously, right? Prater can normally knock those in. Matthew Stafford has to catch a football a little low left. Remember, Glasgow's a new center in there. But missed opportunities on the road. You have a chance for points. You have a chance to tie this ball game up, and you have a self-inflicted wound that puts you back and out of scoring position. Huge mistake for the slow-starting Lions.
And for all the things Stafford has done well, and he's done a lot of things well, now that won't be regarded as a fumble necessarily. Just didn't handle the snap well, but he's lost 6 fumbles this year.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It's just those are things. If you're a team that's fighting and you're desperate for a playoff position,
yep.
When you're on, that's just a loss of focus right there. You have to play with urgency, and urgency forces concentration. And that whole offense wasn't concentrating on that series or that last play.
Martin puts a foot on it and will pin the Ravens down at the 5-yard line. Matt Prater has one of the strongest legs in the NFL, and they had him in prime position until this, forcing the punt. 3-0, Baltimore with the lead and the ball. Backing up the point about slow starts, minus 46 a point differential in the opening quarter. In the last 4 games, we mentioned 36-3. The Lions have been outscored. First down for Baltimore, and that's a nice first down carry by Alex Collins. From the producers of American Horror Story and The People vs. O.J. Simpson comes a new series on Fox. Told through the eyes of first responders, 911. Series premiere this January, only on Fox.
This is a chance, too, for the Lions defense to help their offense against a struggling offense like the Ravens. You can help them flip the field and give your offense good position if you get a 3 and out. Nice cut.
Hey, this kid's been some kind of story. You know, he grew up down in Fort Lauderdale, played collegiately at Arkansas, was a 5th-round pick by Seattle. He only got 31 rushing attempts all last year.
Yeah, well, watch this cut right here, Tom. This is something beautiful, this jump cut. That's just getting smart and getting extra yards when you have a chance to get extra yards. Those are hidden yards that you like to save.
Collins was waived by Seattle, and Baltimore signed him right before the season. That one broken up, beautifully defended on the far side by DJ Hayden. We'll see if Collins checks back in. He will not. But, you know, he's inactive week 1 right after they brought him in. Next couple of games, got 7 attempts, but then back-to-back 82-yard rushing games, and he's been the starter ever since.
Yeah, well, you can see why the way he runs. The other thing, watch is he'll go and hand the ball to the official. He doesn't want to let that ball go or ever hit the ground. He's very conscientious about ball security. Almost cost him a job.
Flacco throws, and the catch is made on second down by Watts. And they'll spot it at the 21, which will bring up a 3rd down and 4. Let's see if that will be the final play of this opening quarter. Ravens don't have to run another play. And they won't. So that will be the end of the opening quarter. A pair of teams with playoff aspirations. 3-0 Ravens. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to M&T Bank Stadium, downtown Baltimore. So many great teams and great seasons through the years. And the Ravens right now would be the final wild card team in the AFC. But they're a whole pile of them bunched together within a game or a game and a half. Flacco a pump fake, and now rolling right, and throws incomplete. So the Ravens will punt it again.
And that's why you're one of the worst offenses, if not the worst offense in the National Football League. It's not on Joe Flacco. It's not on the offensive line. It's on everybody, because Morris does a good job, or Moore, excuse me, does a good job of working back to the football. But again, a blown opportunity to keep a drive alive, make the catch, keep the chains moving. Missed opportunities again. The second one on 3rd down, missed opportunity for the Ravens in this first half. Can't have it.
Now from the 10-yard line, Cook puts the right foot on it, and waiting back is Jones, replacing Jamal Agnew, who's been the best return man in the league. What a nice tackle that was. Made by Owasso. Well, no Amir Abdullah today for the Lions. They have the 3rd longest streak without a 100-yard rusher in a game since a merger. The Brownies 69 in a row in the late 80s, early 90s. The Bengals until Kajana Carter snapped it in 1997. And now 63 in a row since a Lion, and that was Reggie Bush, has rushed for 100 yards in a game.
And that puts a lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford, and I tell you, eliminates about half the playbook as far as what Jim Bob Cooter can call and the type of plays you have to run.
Tion Green making his NFL debut today, and how about the Cincinnati Bearcat? All the way down to the 31-yard line, his first touch in the National Football League.
Well, I watched Tion in the preseason, and he does run with some anger. And first of all, he's going to get a good look. He's excited for this. And what I like right here is the burst through the hole. Right there's a nice cut as Robinson kicks out. And Tion Green is not looking to run out of bounds. Put your head down and get extra yards.
First touch of his career, and Green rips off 33 yards. Why not give it to him again? Although no running room this time. You know, one footnote on the Lions to give you an idea and maybe put it in perspective, because 2013 really doesn't seem that long ago, right? But there have been 387 individual rushing games since the last time a Lion ran for 100. 10 of those games have been by a quarterback.
Well, Tion Green may want to change something about that.
Ooh, this could be a big injury. They're all pros. C.J. Mosley. Baltimore with a football after the big run by Tion Green a moment ago. It brings up 2nd down and 10 at the Baltimore 30. Ravens in front, 3-0. Stafford looking one way, now down the middle of the field to the end zone into double coverage and out of bounds. was Eric Weddle, the four-time Pro Bowl safety, trying to make his 5th interception of this season.
A nice route right here by Marvin Jones. He's going to run a corner post. See him sell the corner post. But this is a tremendous read by Eric Weddle. Did not get fooled by the eyes of Matthew Stafford, who tried to take him to the right side of the field. Immediately sped turn to the post and was there before Jones was there. Tremendous play by Eric Weddle.
It's a dynamic pair of safeties they have here in Baltimore, with Weddle and Tony Jefferson coming over from Arizona. 3rd down, blitz coming. And the crossing pattern will not be enough to pick up the first down on the completion to Golden Tate. Very good coverage by Maurice Kennedy.
That's the idea, right? You go down to this, Peter, you want to get Golden Tate the ball in space. Schrags, but Kennedy was there to stop him.
Absolutely good stop there by the Ravens here, but it's C.J. Mosley is what everyone's wondering about. It was a stinger. He's in the concussion protocol. I'll give you an update later, but the middle linebacker is currently in the concussion protocol.
2 of the best field goal kickers in the NFL, maybe the 2 best. Prater and Tucker. This will be a 43-yard field goal try. And as soon as you say it, you get a rare miss. Only 3 of them all year long for Matt Prater. And his team still trails 3-0. 3-0, Ravens with a lead and the football. 12:50 to go here in the second quarter. The Ravens start this drive at their own 33. Buck Allen checks into the backfield. They fake it to him, and Flacco going to throw it down the field to Wallace. And he's got it. Trying to sniff the end zone. And just short, but all the way to the 1-yard line. And there's a home run ball Flacco's looking for.
What Joe tell the press during the week? We got to let it loose. Go ahead. Let it loose, because you're going to get Mike Wallace, who's known for his speed, outruns Glover Quinn. Glover Quinn knows this is coming, and this is the perfect example of a quarterback throwing somebody open where his guy or no guy gets it, and it's away from the defender. Great read by Flacco. Excellent ball by Joe Flacco, and Wallace securing the catch, getting it down to the 1.
Of course, Wallace has always been about the big plays. That's his 26th career reception of 50 or more yards. And now 1st and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens, Benjamin Watson.
Well, this play has hurt the Lions all year. There's at least 1 touchdown a game scored on the Lions on a simple play action. It's always a miscommunication. 1st down, everybody's going to run. And it's easy pickings for Joe Flacco. Ben Watson is there. Nobody's there to guard him. Zettel came off late. Too easy of a read for the Ravens offense. Watson and Flacco for 6.
So now here you are with the ensuing point after, if you're the Lions, saying, all right, now it's 43-3. We're behind to start a game over the last 4 weeks.
You know, the one thing you do say, Tom, is, you know, we've been down by double digits before, so we know what it's like, and we've had success coming back from when we're down 10.
10-0, Ravens in front. We're back in 30 seconds. Well, these plays have been few and far between for this Baltimore offense all year long.
Yeah, and Wallace was able to get the ball thrown to him. Remember in the first quarter, 1st or 2nd play of the game, Joe Flacco missed Wallace, who was wide open deep. Didn't miss him that time. Was able to secure that ball, get it down to the 1.
Well, he almost dropped that ball.
Yeah, well, that one they held on to. We've already had 2 drops that would have kept drives alive on 3rd down by Macklin and Moore. Wallace made sure he secured that catch. Big play by the Ravens, who desperately need downfield plays.
10-0. 11:50 to play until halftime. Many of you well aware of what happened this morning. The Pontiac Silverdome, that's where you called home, Chris Newman, for many, many years. Home of the Lions from 75 to 2001. Hosted a Super Bowl. They tried to blow it up, and it just simply didn't work.
You know what? I've been blown up about 1,000 times in that building, and I'm still standing. So that's one thing I got in common with the Silverdome, because there's a lot of guys in the NFL that blew me up, believe me.
You probably did some of that yourself as the Lions' all-time leading tackler. We'll see if the Lions can get something going on offense. Stafford, good protection, and a catch is made by the rookie Golladay, and that's a big gainer to the Baltimore 44-yard line. There's a lot to like about the future of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, he's only going to get bigger. Good protection up front first, which allows this long route to develop as Galladay's working across the field on Jimmy Smith. There's no help. C.J. Mosley late to get underneath. Golladay a big target, and I bet you a long-time target for Matthew Stafford as we move forward in the future. Good player.
This Baltimore pass defense has very, very good numbers. Some might argue the numbers are a bit misleading. Here they're playing one of the better quarterbacks in the league today, and that's an excellent play made by the veteran Jimmy Smith. But, you know, they've been shredded by the good quarterbacks this year, especially Ben Roethlisberger, among others. But, you know, sometimes it's not always who you play, it's when you play them. When you consider they beat Andy Dalton in the openers, when the Bengals turned it over 5 times. But look at the rest of the quarterbacks they beat. Kaiser, the rookie. Manuel playing for the injured Carr. Moore playing for the injured Cutler. Hundley, of course, in for Aaron Rodgers. And then Savage last Monday night. All of those are wins this season for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, look, that's not knock on the Ravens. Whoever the other team plays at quarterback, that's their business. You got to go out there and win a game.
What that tells me, too, is that the Ravens are doing exactly what they're supposed to do against a backup quarterback or a young quarterback. The thing about their pass defense, especially their corners, you know, their corners are long. And it makes it very difficult because they're physical at the line of scrimmage. They have that long arms on the line of scrimmage. They love to get physical and tall corners to combat the tall wide receivers of the Detroit Lions. There's not a corner in the Ravens roster that's under 6 foot.
Be a 3rd down and 7. They need to get to the 34-yard line. Blitz coming, and Stafford is rocked from behind. And it's picked up in a big fella. Willie Henry is all the way to the 35-yard line. That was a safety blitz, and Eric Weddle jarred it loose.
Well, there's a couple things here. Matthew Stafford has a misread. Sometimes you're responsible for a blitzer. Rick Wagner, the injured player right now, but watch Weddle coming from the top of your screen. Watch Golden Tate, wide open. If he catch and throws, he's dancing in the end zone. Watch this. Here comes the blitz. Look at Golden Tate. There's nobody with Golden Tate, but Eric Weddle comes untouched, and you see Rick Wagner get knocked into by Matthew Stafford.
As Wagner spent the last 4 years with the Ravens, they continue to check on him. We're back in a moment. So the takeaway by this Ravens defense, they have the most takeaways in all of football this year. And now with a 10-0 lead, it's 1st down at the 36. And they drop it off to Williams, a tight end. And a penalty flag comes in at the end of the play after nearly a 10-yard gain.
It's an excellent hustle play by Ashad Robinson, who gets up limping.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 1st down.
It's a starting right tackle, Austin Howard, and we check in back in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
Well, another team in purple's on the scoreboard, the Vikings at Atlanta. Case Keenum rolling out and finding Jerick McKinnon for the touchdown. McKinnon grew up in Atlanta, does the Dirty Bird. They're up by a point. Atlanta held 2 field goals so far. Tom, Chris, and Peter.
There aren't a lot of people talking about Minnesota. I know they're on a long winning streak, but, you know, most of this year it seems like Philadelphia's getting all the pub. That Minnesota defense is sensational.
You got a quarterback playing at a high level in Case Keenum.
Flacco on the crossing pattern to Collins out of the backfield, and he'll pick up 10 on 1st down and 20.
It's a good call. You always want to get half back, give yourself a manageable 2nd down, understanding that the Lions were in a soft zone. As you see Rick Wagner being carted off, the former Baltimore Raven, solid player.
Yeah, he was so excited about coming back here, a 5th-round pack in 2013, played 65 games for the Ravens. Every game he played in, he started. Second down and 10. Flacco. Back shoulder throw. And is it a catch? Still waiting.
This is a great throw by Joe Flacco. It seems to me he's starting to get some rhythm. Is he going to read the corner? The corner's on top of Mike Wallace, so Flacco automatically knows to throw it on the back shoulder, and it looked like he was bobbling it when he went out of bounds. But I'm going to go back to it again.
I don't know.
All right, let's see.
I think they're going to probably throw a flag on this one. Yep, and John Harbaugh does. You know, the officials for a long time never gave an indication whether it was a catch or not a catch. Ultimately saying it was not, so that's a ruling on the field that's being challenged by Harbaugh.
Challenging the rule on the field of an incomplete pass.
And we have Dean Blandino, the former head of NFL officials, as part of our crew here today on Fox. And let's join him from Los Angeles. Dean, how do you see this? Clearly there was some separation in terms of control, but do you think he brought it back in time?
I do think he brought it back in time. If I'm in the command center, I'm looking at this, I'm establishing control first, and you can see he's going to pull it to his body. Then I'm looking at the feet. The left foot is in, the right foot stays in bounds. Then he's going to maintain control as he goes to the ground. The ruling on the field was a catch, and it looks like the call is going to be upheld.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Dean. Although we were shut out last week, I think we got this one right. I think they're going to overrule it.
Yeah, the ruling on the field is incomplete. So we wait on the judiciary to see if they're going to overturn this thing. You've gotten multiple looks at it over there with our outstanding crew headed up by Mark Titleman, our producer, and our director, Greg Scopatone.
Got some receivers making some plays for Joe Flacco, and he's throwing the ball better. The decision-making, the timing, the confidence. You know, I saw that in practice on Friday. Compared to what I watched on Monday night, which wasn't very good throwing the football, they look sharp on practice on Friday, and I'll tell you, that's an indicator you look sharp on Sunday.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field has changed to a completed catch. It'll be Baltimore's ball, first down and 10.
So as Mr. Blandino predicted, that is a reception, and it's a first down at the 13-yard line for Baltimore.
Right now, if I'm the Lions and I'm the play caller in that defensive huddle, and I said, look, guys, we can't afford to go down. Our offense is struggling against a very good defense. At the very least, we need to rally right now, hold them to a field goal attempt. We all need to step up and make a play. That should be the first thing said before you call a play.
Delay to Buck Allen, and he slips a tackle. He's inside the 10, he's inside the 5, he's down to the 3-yard line. Allen, who had such a great rookie year, and it was a great year, ran for over 500, had 45 catches, but then hurt last year and been a forgotten man.
Yeah, well, this is what you like when you need two, right? Because when you have two guys, and one of them is Buck Allen, he sees that Collins is having some success, he wants his shot, and he runs through tackles right here. These are missed opportunities, again, by Hayden and Whitehead. Have a chance to get him on the ground, and he just sheds them. He wants his opportunities.
Well, he had him early in the year, had a couple of games where he rushed for over 70, had over 20 attempts, and eventually lost his job to Alex Collins, and they'll give it to Allen again. And he has enough, it appears, for a first down, tackled by Zettel, but that'll be first and goal for the Ravens.
Well, Zettel came off that edge hard. Now, the only reason why he made a great play, the only reason I point that out, if I'm up in the booth and I'm in communication with the coaches on the sidelines, Zettel's coming down that line of scrimmage. He's primed for some type of bootleg. Just something to put into memory banks. We could see it later on in the game.
High formation, first and goal. From right at the 3-yard line, they're going to throw it, and it's another touchdown.
They just have no communication on that play. I mean, this is something that happens all the time with this Lions team. They cannot defend the play-action pass on goal line and short yardage. Now, let's talk about how you defend it. It's a me-you call. We have 3 guys in coverage. These 3 guys have to communicate that we have coverage. Read the angle of the fullback. He's not blocking anybody. He's going right to the flat. Anytime you read the shoulders of the fullback and they're right to the sidelines or to the flat, it's no run because he's blocking air if he goes out there. If his shoulders are square, he's inside, it's run. Shoulders are flat and outside, pass.
Congratulations to Patrick Ricard. That is his first career touchdown on just his second career reception. Signed as a free agent last May. Primarily has seen action on special teams, both sides of the ball, in fact. Well, what a big moment for him. And now all of a sudden, you know, here we're talking, Chris Phelan, about two teams coming in 6-5. The Ravens, if the season ended right now, they'd be in the playoffs. But look, there's a long way to go, and they know it. But, you know, you look at the Lions, and here you are yet again. You're right in the hunt. And what a disappointing start, down 17-0.
So we talked about the defense, which is more emotional, right? You get emotional. All right, guys, we got to rally, get going, hit somebody, cause a fumble. Offense, you got to keep calm. You're Matthew Stafford. Matthew brings him around and says, look, we've been in this position before. We know that we can score points in a hurry. If you don't remember down in New Orleans, we're down about 42 points, and we almost came back. That's the mindset that the Lions offense and this team has to have, that Matthew Stafford can't bring us back. They just shouldn't be in this position that they put themselves in.
Well, you may remember Stafford a year ago set an NFL record with 8 come-from-behind wins in a single season. Mistakes which have added up to this 17-0 lead.
Well, I'll put that one on Stafford, even though it's a bad snap. And this guy never misses a field goal, right? You could argue the two best players in this game are the kickers. That's how good they are. I think that one's on Stafford. He's accountable for the blitz. He had Golden Tate wide open on a hot read. Just got it out too late. Eric Weddle knocks it out, and the Ravens get points off turnovers.
Alrighty, so here comes Stafford and the Lions. 6:54 to go until halftime, and it's 17-0.
Well, this crowd all of a sudden seems to arrive at the game. He's dead early.
Mahalik is checked in at right tackle, by the way, replacing the injured Rick Wagner. Let's check in down along the sideline with Peter Schrager.
Yeah, Tom, Rick Wagner, it is an ankle. He's doubtful to return, and it's not just him. Ezekiel Ansah, defensive end, questionable return. He's got an ankle injury too. So if the Lions are going to make this comeback, they might have to do it without two of their more reliable veteran players.
Yeah, especially the positions they play, pass protector and pass rusher, Peter, two very important positions. As you know, especially when you're down 17 with 6 to go in the first half.
For Ansah, it's been a battle to get on the field all year long. He's had a back injury, now the ankle situation. They put it in the hands of Golden Tate, and he has a first down up to the 37-yard line. So you have Mahalik, who, you know, got a couple of starts at left tackle when Taylor Decker began the year injured. So he's had a lot of playing time so far this year.
Yeah, he's solid out there. He's a solid backup that can play both sides, and when he did fill in for Decker, did a nice job.
He is a mountain of a man. 6'9", 315 out of Boston College. Tion Green making his NFL debut here today. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Owasso. Second down.
You know, the one thing they've always had here in Baltimore is great inside interior defensive linemen. And I just watched that play. Brandon Williams and Michael Pierce take that line of scrimmage, and they stuff people back. And that's why Owasso, at 212 pounds, can play inside linebacker because of those beasts inside. Look at it. They just push line back. Linebackers run free. Hey, for linebackers, your D-line looks good, I look good. D-line looks bad, I look real bad. Trust those guys.
Stafford looking around, and he'll be bumped out of bounds. It was initially the rookie Bowser, their second-round pick in hot pursuit, who whiffed on a would-be sack.
Well, Matthew Stafford ankle looks pretty good right here. This is a nice job of him avoiding the sack as Bowser jumped inside. Good awareness and a good decision not to force anything downfield. Get what you can get out of bounds.
Well, you get the feeling that this drive is a very important drive for this Lions offense and this Lions team.
And this guy's been a big money man for them this year in these crucial downs. That's Marvin Jones Jr.
showing blitz. Here they come, and Stafford in trouble again, and down he goes. Matthew Judon. And the Lions will punt it away, and we check in as we punt it back to Los Angeles. I was in a good mood, Carissa, till I threw it to you the last time.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Well, guess what? Packers fans are going to be in a good mood after this. They were up 10-7 when Jameis Winston is sacked by Kenny Clark, recovered by Dean Lowry, and unsurprisingly, Tom, this is Lowry's first touchdown. Exciting moment for him. More importantly, he's got his team up 17-7 and even finishes his bad boy off with a little Lambeau leap. Tom?
You gotta love that. A defensive lineman leaping in the Lambeau leap. This is not a good sign. Clearly in a lot of pain. Is a 7-year corner, #1 pick back in 2011, Jimmy Smith.
Right here's Jimmy. Let's see what happens to him, and it's away from the play. Oh boy, you know, it's one of those.
Oh boy, this is not good.
Yeah, one of those crazy non-contact injuries. You see his frustration. I know it happens. I just can't remember seeing as many non-contact injuries as we've seen this year in the NFL. I don't even know if there's any science to back that up or any statistical information, but that's just a non-contact injury.
He cannot put any weight on it at all. It had a very ugly look to it. We hope and certainly pray that's not the case for Smith. He has been an excellent player here for Baltimore over his 7 years. Peter?
Hey, this is one of the guys who's from that 2013 roster. He's still on the team, but guys, it has been a battle for Jimmy Smith. A ton of leg injuries over his career. He's battling a foot injury coming into this one. You can see the entire sideline is just crestfallen right now. I'll get the update.
Yeah, he's a leader too, Schrags. I mean, just how he practices and how he plays.
Tom? Been beaten up. They currently have 13 players on injured reserve. And this is Campanaro. The ball is loose. And it's still loose. The initial try to cover it up was unsuccessful. And then you saw that ball squirt out of there again.
And you got a cage match going on right now. Anything goes to get that football in that pile. You know, you always used to think like guys talking and arguing, I got it, you got it. It doesn't really matter what conversation's going on there. Who wins the wrestling match at the bottom of the pile?
Now they're pointing that the football is recovered by Baltimore.
Well, I like the initial decision by Campanaro to field the ball off the ground to save yardage. Kennedy comes up with it. Here's Campanaro coming in and from behind. Don Carey knocks it loose. You have Kennedy in there fighting for that loose ball. Was able to come away with it. Big save by the Ravens. Another lost opportunity by the Lions.
All right, so Baltimore football, 3:56 to play until halftime. The Ravens lots of time and all 3 timeouts. And Flacco to throw it on first down. Great protection. And dumps it off to Allen, and that'll be up to the 34-yard line. 2nd and 6 upcoming.
Great protection is, and it was, and the reason too is because they're keeping 8 guys in. That was a 2-man route. They were hoping to get Detroit sleeping, going deep with Macklin and Wallace. Flacco did a good job. Nothing there. Hit the late check down after protection to the running back.
Now today, Flacco on his yards per completion is up over 11 per completion so far in this game. Now normally that's one of those stats. It's a lot of minutia and you get wrapped up in things and you go blind looking at some of the numbers, right? But the bottom line is, to put it in context, the Ravens are only averaging 8 yards per completion, which right now is on pace for the fewest yards for completion by any quarterback of any team in the history of the NFL. As going off now is injured Alex Collins.
Well, to your point too, Tom, and this was Joe Flacco, we have to let it loose because if we get to the playoffs, we're going nowhere in the playoffs if we don't improve our passing game. And so far, it's improved today.
3rd down and 5, and down the middle, and there's another big play. That one caught by Maclin right at the 50. That'll move the sticks. That's a courageous catch too. That's not easy to come across the middle. What they're going to do is high-low, a little bit of a switch route between these two guys. He's going to go low. Macklin's going to come in behind on the deep end. Drawing those linebackers up. This is Whitehead just a little bit late getting underneath. And Flacco delivers a strike. And another example of not waiting for his guy to come open, but Joe Flacco throwing his open as Quandre Diggs gives a good shot to Maclin at the end of the play. Flacco looks sharp to me. Better. Sure does. Not been a story for the Lions on offense. We're at the 2-minute warning. A game dominated thus far by the home team. Chris Spielman, you said they look better, and the numbers back it up. Yeah, just and the offense looks better, and the main reason is Joe Flacco looks better, more comfortable. He has rhythm. He has timing with his receivers and tight ends. On 1st down, lofting for Wallace, and it's incomplete. Step for step with it, Nevin Lawson. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson back in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom. Big game in the AFC. Texans up 10-0 in the second with Marcus Mariota fakes out everyone, including the camera guy right there. The 7-yard run puts Tennessee on the board. Texans still lead this one 10-7. Tom?
Hi, Carissa. Thank you very much. Texans have owned that division. So difficult to defend a read option. We saw it last week with Cam Newton, and of course Marcus can run it as well as anybody. Tennessee tied with Jacksonville atop the AFC South going into play today. Clock continues to run with 1:40, and the Ravens have all 3 timeouts. This is a 3rd and 5. It's a big down if they want to get points before halftime. Benjamin Watson last time on Diggs or Lawson. Short yardage guy. Flacco standing tall in there, and an open field stop, and a good one made by Quandre Diggs, who's had a good year this year for the Lions. It's probably played as well as anybody on the Lions defense, just consistent, and Quandre is going to sit right back here. This is how you do the bench route. Don't get caught up in the traffic, or the bunch route. Don't get caught up in the traffic. Let it develop in front of you. As long as it's in front of the sticks, come up and make a good open field tackle. Exactly what Quandre did. Well, the Lions call a timeout before this 4th down. The Ravens have left their offense on the field. All right, we have halftime coming up. How about it, Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Titans go head-to-head with the Texans. The Bills fantasize about beating the Patriots. And the Chiefs set their lineup against the Jets. Put down that cheat sheet. The Visa halftime is next.
Pretty good lineup right there. Absolutely. Strahan and Howie Long to start that defensive line. Big leaguers. Bradshaw at quarterback. Yes, sir. Tough, all of them. So the Ravens are going to go for it. Otherwise, you'd be staring down the barrel at roughly a 60-yard field goal, which Tucker, by the way, has made. It's a little bit of a gamble. Yeah, they're doing a draw off sides, play field position. Good call by Harbaugh just to take a shot at that. Lions showed good discipline, not jumping. So now it'll be Sam Cook, the punter, to come out. Don't want to give Stafford the ball right there at the 41-yard line. We have an update on Jimmy Smith, who left injured a moment ago. Peter Schrager.
Guys, it is a torn Achilles. He's out for the game. It might be the season for Jimmy Smith. Just a deflated situation over there on the Ravens sideline. That's one of their leaders. Unfortunate news.
Of course, same thing happened to Richard Sherman this year. And boy, Smith been such a good player for a long time here in Baltimore. Good backup cornerbacks. Kennedy. First-round draft pick Marlon Humphrey. Your turn. It's the way it goes. Next man up. Remember, they had a fake couple of times this year with Cook throwing the football, including last Monday night. T.J. Jones, a fair catch. inside the 15. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp go head-to-head. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1.
Look for the Lions here to get aggressive. I would think, at least if you get the first playoff and you have some positive yards, they could get aggressive because you're down. You have to get some type of rhythm, something going. If they get nothing on the first play, then they'll probably sit on it. Always alert, screen and draw as a defense.
Lions 134 yards of offense, and that is read beautifully. And this is a young man who's really opening some eyes, and that's a second-year player out of Michigan. And that is Willie Henry, a fourth-round pick. Last year, he was on IR, did not play in a single game, and all of a sudden, this Cleveland, Ohio native is coming on strong for the Ravens. Stafford looking downfield, just nowhere to go. Catch is made by Ebron, but he's wrapped up by Anthony Levine. And it brings up third down and forever. You know, Willie Henry played for a man you know. You know, we've all heard of Ted Ginn Jr., longtime NFL outstanding wide receiver. Played at Ohio State. His father is a legendary high school coach at Glenville High School in Cleveland. And he's the one that said and tried to convince Willie Henry of what a great player he could be.
Well, he was right, and that's what coaches do. They realize the potential in young men, and Willie did have a nice career up at Michigan and really is a valuable asset because we talked about already Brandon Williams and Michael Pierce and Carl Davis inside. But Willie Henry provides that extra guy, those fresh body and fresh legs, and he's very good, especially on the interior rush.
They call him Willie Earl. That's his father's name and his middle name. Third down and 11. 28 seconds left. And Stafford looking around. In trouble again. And down he goes. A penalty flag comes in late. That will not be officially a sack. It looked like he crossed the line of scrimmage, although a decision now for Harbaugh.
Holding, offense, number 68. That penalty is a decline, the result of the play, fourth down.
And so what I do now, Tom, is I don't even put a guy back. I rush 11 and try to block the punt. What's the worst thing that happen? They're going to get me on a penalty. You're right here where if you block the punt, you got a chance to recover the ball in the end zone. So whatever your best pump block is, that's what you do. And I'm going to tell you, I think 37, Buck Allen, is a guy that I would be concerned with if he's lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Of course, Jerry Rosberg is their special teams coordinator. What an incredible job he has done through the years. A lot of Michigan ties for him in Northern Michigan and in Western Michigan. And they're coming after it. Very short punt. And it's fielded right at the 45. I saw Rosberg walk out to Campanaro and say, whatever happens, you have to come catch this ball. Because they're thinking now a field goal, or at least a position to get in a field goal for Justin Tucker.
And they did, and Campanaro had a great read on the football. The ball was hurt a little bit, so the punter, Martin, didn't hit it very well. Campanaro saved a lot of yards just by fielding it.
We mentioned that Tucker has hit from 57 yards this year. He has 4 field goals at 50 yards or more. He doesn't have to hit one from that far after this. That is Wallace all the way to the 28. And the Ravens have 1 timeout left and will spend it.
It's too easy of a release by Lawson. Wallace is going to jam him inside. Lawson opens up that gate, and it's pitch and catch. And early on in the game, that rhythm and timing wasn't there. This time, Flacco delivers a catchable ball, which is the transition from catch to run is nice and smooth for the Baltimore Ravens. You think the fans here, there's Joe Flacco. That's the guy we know. And there's the receivers making plays for him.
I'll tell you what, if Baltimore plays on offense like they have so far here today, the rest of this season,
tough out.
They're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be a tough out is right. Because they have looked really good today. All right, you're going to throw one more play. You're out of timeouts. You're going to take a shot at the end zone.
I
then
take a
set
shot.
out the field goal.
I take a shot at the end zone, and if I'm the defense, I'm going to defend the outside sidelines. I'm going to make sure that ball's not over my head, and Flacco has to make a decision that either it's going out of the end zone if nobody's open in the end zone.
He's just going to throw it up in the corner, and it's incomplete, and so
like
the
that.
field goal unit will come out with 5 seconds remaining. You know, you never know. Someone home might be saying, well, what's the point now? I mean, you never know if a defender's going to fall down. You just never know what might happen.
Yeah, ultimately, you have to do what Joe did. If you see nothing and they're covered, and the Lions did a good job of anticipating that, throw it out of bounds to give Justin Tucker a chance to get another field goal on the board before half.
This will be a 46-yard try for Justin Tucker, the second most accurate field goal kicker in league history. Good snap, good hold, and right down the middle for Tucker. Boy, what a weapon he is.
Yes.
He is something else. And that caps off a very impressive first half, 20-0 Baltimore. And we take a look at a listen from Week 12 with sounds from the field. Brought to you by Walmart.com, now offering free 2-day shipping.
Back in the Coliseum.
Hey, we're riding with you guys.
Let's do what we do in practice.
Give me a woo if you're with me.
So Joe Flacco and this Baltimore Raven offense, so maligned, ranked number 31 of 32 teams in the National Football League. Yeah, there's a lot to smile about if you're John Harbaugh. Your offense has come alive. 20 points in the opening half and a 20-0 lead over the visiting Detroit Lions. We're going to go straight to Kurt Menefee and company in Los Angeles to start the Visa halftime right now. We are back on this beautiful December Sunday in downtown Baltimore. And it's a 20-0 Ravens lead. Both teams coming in at 6-5 on the year, very much in the hunt for a playoff spot. One team has played like it, the other is not.
Well, you look at it, too. This is right into John Harbaugh's hands. He loves how his team plays with the lead. They can run the football. The way the passing game's looking, you're right, over 8 yards per attempt. Coming in 5.3 yards, over 12 yards per pass play.
Right.
This is how they're operating, and this is what I think everybody in this stadium has been waiting for this Baltimore Ravens team.
We look inside some of the numbers. Flacco, 192 passing yards. That's more in the first half since he's had going all the way back to December of last year. Ravens are only averaging total passing yards per game 164, so almost 30 more than that in just 30 minutes of football. And taking a knee is TJ Jones, and we check in at halftime with Peter Schrager.
Tom, I spoke with Jim Caldwell, the coach of the Lions. Kind of a, here we go again. He looked at me and said, you know what? We haven't stopped him in the red zone. We're missing field goals. We have no running game. We can't stop the run. It's the little things, but it's also the big things. I said to Caldwell, is there any message you could have for this team to get it going? He says, this is it. Let's go. Let's find a way. Start with the little things, and then the rest will come into it.
And make no mistake about it, if there is a team in the NFL that has been down this road so many times before of having to come back in games, the Lions would be Exhibit A. They hand it off to Theo Riddick, and he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Kennedy.
Right there, you look at points. Game 0 today allowed, TDs allowed 0, and they feel good about themselves. And the other thing is, Tom, they're going to come after Stafford, right? Wagner goes down, Mahalik's in at right tackle, so they put a lot of pressure on him.
Well, this Ravens defense has already pitched 3 shutouts so far this year. That 2000 Ravens team had 4 of them. And some believe that's among the top defenses, if not the best of all time. Riddick back to the line of scrimmage. And it'll bring up 3rd down for the Lions. They're hurrying up, trying to catch the Ravens with too many players on the field. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They're not. They didn't get it off in time.
And they did force the Ravens to take a timeout, though, not to chance
Timeout,
any type of
Baltimore.
penalty. Good
They're
awareness
first.
by Matthew Stafford.
This is a 30-second timeout.
That Lions offense.
Well, obviously you're hoping to get a free play out of the thing, catch the other team with too many men on the field and take your chances. So at the minimum, they burn a timeout.
Well, and this again, to get something going and to get in rhythm when you're down 20, to go a little bit of tempo. Matthew recognized the substitution package the Ravens were trying to get in. It was a good call and a good timeout by the Ravens to make sure you didn't penalize yourself.
Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Baltimore fans interested in this one. They're the 6th seed. Jacksonville is the 5th seed. First drive of the second half. Leonard Fournette runs it in from 5 yards out. His first touchdown since week 6. Jags up 24-3. Tom?
Well, Jacksonville there. It's all Baltimore here. 20-0. And on this opening drive of the second half, Stafford facing a 3rd and 8. That is a missile. It is caught by Golden Tate, and that will be a first down. Beautifully thrown ball by Stafford there.
Well, Stafford sees Golden Tate on Ladarius Webb, a matchup that he likes. And Golden, I'll tell you, I like what Baltimore did. They rushed 8, but Ladarius Webb gets his back turned, and Golden Tate just runs away to him in the open area.
Put it in the hands of Marvin Jones. He's had a very quiet day, and an excellent play made by the rookie out of Alabama, Marlon Humphrey, who's been getting more and more playing time of late, and now after the injury, certainly it appears to be a season-ending injury for Jimmy Smith with a torn Achilles. Humphrey is going to play virtually all the time.
They're very confident in Humphrey's ability, as they should be. Jimmy Smith, the thing they'll miss most, not only his great physical play, but his leadership skills. Guys have to step up.
Stafford on second down. Good protection this time. You give him that kind of time and you're in a world of trouble. And that's Ebron for a first down to the Ravens' 46-yard line.
And Matthew Stafford has time, as you said, to survey the field because of the protection. And I like what Decker does right here. Decker was struggling with Suggs a little bit. Solid on that protection.
Flag down, throwing deep down the field. The catch is made by Marvin Jones Jr. Inside the 5, we wait on the penalty. And we wait and see. This is a big one.
12 men on defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
You know, you'd figure if you're Dean Pease that you cannot substitute in these situations because they're going tempo and they're looking to catch you. And Marvin Jones right here runs past Humphrey, who loses sight of the ball. And of course, Marvin Jones is a big body and using his body to seal Humphrey from getting it, making a good catch at its highest point.
All righty, for the first time all day, the Lions have some life. 42-yard reception by Jones. And now it's first and goal at the 5-yard line. Just inside the 5. Theo Riddick will find the end zone, and the Lions for the first time today are on the board. What an impressive start for the Lions, coming out of the locker room at halftime and go right down the field for the touchdown.
Yeah, it's all set up by Matthew Stafford and having time to pass. Judon right here is going to get held. He's responsible as the end man down the line of scrimmage. He thinks he's going to get held right here. Actually, it's a nice block by Roberts, the rookie tight end out of Toledo, holding him up enough, and Theo Riddick with a burst around the edge. Great comeback by the Lions and a great start to the second half.
For Riddick, that is his first rushing touchdown of this season. And the point after now by Prater is good. 17-7. And for the first time all day, the Lions have a crooked number on the scoreboard. Rushing touchdown by Riddick, capping off that 75-yard drive. In the first half, Stafford was 10 of 14 for 91 yards. On that drive to begin the second half, 5 of 5 for 73 yards.
And they went after Chuck Clark, a rookie. Marlon Humphrey, a rookie. Ebron caught one on Clark. Jones Jr. caught one on Humphrey.
20-7. Baltimore in front, and this is Chris Moore. And he's up to the 24-yard line. Well, this weekend, NFL players are lacing up and letting their cleats do the talking. Part of My Cause, My Cleats. Players supporting charitable causes important to them. through cleats that are custom designed and inspired by their causes. If you'd like to learn more or bid on select players' special edition cleats, go to NFL.com/mycleats, all one word.
Yeah, I love that. I love that the NFL does that. This guy's a chance to show how supportive our guys are in the community.
Flacco to come out throwing to begin the second half. That's Woodhead up to the 30, a gain of 5 on first down. Why is this Baltimore offense so much better today than really we've seen them all year long?
Success throwing on first down. They established the run early. They've taken shots downfield and had success, so that automatically loosens up a defense. And it's Flacco and a rhythm with the wide receivers and using everybody. Tight ends on screens, receivers on deep routes. Backs out of the backfield, spreading the ball around, makes it difficult to defend.
Flacco has hit 10 different receivers so far in this game, and Collins, who was shaken up briefly in the first half, wrapped up by Warlow. It brings up a third down. You know, you go through the ebbs and flows of a game, momentum here, pendulum the other way. After that touchdown drive, look, there's forever to go in this game, but for the Lions, this is a big third down.
Absolutely.
I mean, you love to get a 3 and out and get the ball right back to your offense.
And the defense knows that they have Matthew Stafford, and if they can hold up their end of the bargain and get a 3 and out here, the one thing we do know about the Lions as a team, there's not a lot of panic with Jim Caldwell.
It's third down for Flacco, and it is a first down reception made by their leading receiver, Benjamin Watson.
They come with pressure right here, and these 5 do a great job. Watson's going to work on Diggs, and again, it's just a size matchup, and just allow him to protect Woodhead. Hits up Reeves-Maybin, and it's a strike to Ben Watson. Boy, that's a good ball. Look, he just looks so confident and smooth throwing the football compared that we've seen, and good coverage by Diggs. Just a big body he couldn't get around.
Play action. Flacco just throws it away. It was covered beautifully that time by Diggs. He was out in coverage on Boyle. A lot of pressure right from the start. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Diggs has been outstanding this year. Darius Slay has had a great year. Darius Slay leads the NFL in PBUs, pass breakups with 15. But I'm telling you, a guy that's just been as solid as he can and plays linebacker essentially in their nickel package is that guy right there. Quandre Diggs, an outstanding football player.
They found him all the way in the 6th round out of the University of Texas 2 years ago. Flacco all day to throw it, lays it off to Mackey, and he'll be met immediately by Lawson. And that brings up a third down again for the Ravens, where so far they're 3 of 7, considerably better than their percentage of 32% on third down this season.
This is their pass rush package. Ziggy Ansah back in the game, left with an injury in the first half. Then you move Zettel inside, normally an outside pass rusher, number 69. You try to get a one-on-one matchup with him against the guard right here. That's Zettel.
And then you bring in Freeney on the other side, playing his first game as a Lion. He's in the bottom of your screen. And Flacco in trouble, just has to get rid of it, so they bring the heat. Flacco takes a big hit from Tyre Whitehead, and the Ravens will punt it on this possession to begin the second half.
Terrell Austin is not going to sit back and let them do what they want. Whitehead's going to come on the blitz, number 59. And right here, to me, they slid the wrong way. The center's got to come off of that because the offensive back was on his side. He's got to look for that blitzer to come back inside to help. Nice read by Whitehead.
So Jamal Agnew today, he's run back a pair of punts for touchdowns this year. Jones a fair catch at the 22. Lions a little momentum, trailing 20-7. See the first half versus the only possession of the second half, resulting in the Lions' first score. They're down 27. Starting his drive from their own 22 with 9:12 to go in the third. Tion Green ripped off a 33-yarder His first NFL carry. That'll be a gain of 3, and we check in with Peter Schrager.
Guys, Rick Wagner's officially out in this one. Let me tell you something about TJ Lang. He was on the sideline. They were working on his foot. Chris, you'll appreciate this. He's going to tough it out. He's out there, but his foot was being worked on. He is limping heavily.
Well, they're running out of guys. They moved Robinson over to right tackle, and Barclay comes in at left guard. He has to play.
All of that started when Travis Swanson injured his knee against Minnesota last week. He's inactive. They're starting center. So they move Graham Glasgow from left guard to center. Wagner injured. Dump it off. And that's Riddick up to the 31-yard line. Then Wagner gets hurt early in the game, and now it's musical chairs. But Lang hanging in there.
And I just watched Suggs right there put a move on Robinson right there, and I'm telling you, that's a matchup to watch. And you take a look at the Dean Pease and the substitution. You want to get your pass rushers involved in this ball game. Drew Don comes in. But the matchup I'm going to look at right now is Suggs on Decker at the top of your screen. Good on good. Best tackle against outside pass rusher.
They're down and a yard. The Lions have been woeful 3rd and 1 this year. 4 of 11.
Ooh,
and I'm not sure they got this one. It might be 4 out of 12. Only the Jets have been worse on 3rd down and a yard than the Lions this year.
Brandon Williams is a beast on this right now. He's going to stand his guy up. He's going to get extension with his arms. Watch number 98 right here. He'll get extension with his arms on Lang and Robinson, split the double team, and come off and shed and make the play. Now, could he do that with Rick Wagner? I don't know, but he did it to Robinson and stuffs it short of the first down. Those guys are good players inside. I'm telling you, they're good. Big stop by the Ravens.
But Chris, I got to ask you, as a former defender and a middle linebacker and a great one, which you were, how does a team go 4 out of 12 on 3rd down and a yard? How does that happen?
I understand. I mean, to me,
I'm just asking the question. 3rd and a yard, and you're 4 out of 12.
Yeah. You got to be able to pound it in there, and that says something about the physicality of your football team in a 1-2.
That one booted by Martin, and a fair catch at the 21-yard line. So the Ravens stand tall. Flacco having one of his best games of this season with a 20-7 lead. I think that was Chris Spielman's hotel room. You had people coming through there and checking everything out from that view you had.
Can't hide money.
First down for the Ravens and Collins. All the way up to the 32-yard line, close to another first down. You know, it's interesting. The Seahawks had a fleet of running backs that they were trying to make a decision on, and so they let Collins go. Collins has rushed for more yards than all their other running backs combined so far this year. And he has only started now the last 6 games. Through the hands of the intended receiver, Benjamin Watson. And it's 2nd down and 10 for the Ravens with a 20-7 lead.
Ravens right there tried to go a little tempo. Almost caught the Lions with too many men on the field. And Flacco saw Quandre Diggs, who tried to undercut that. When Watson catches that, it's a big gainer. That's a drop pass, a dropped opportunity for the Ravens.
Ansah.
Stopped by Jared Davis. As you said, Tom, he's had his ups and downs, right? But one thing he does do well is play the run. And he'll get better in his pass coverage. Really solid run defender, though.
And there's an injured Lion on the field, and that might be Ansah. He was on that stop along with Davis. It's been a tough year for Ezekiel Ansah. Couple guys played a lot of football in this league for a long time. Weddle and Suggs, part of what has been an outstanding Baltimore defense all year long. Meanwhile, on offense, 3rd down and a big hit. That is an incompletion they're calling. Oh my. Quandre Diggs delivering the big blow on Macklin and called incomplete.
Yeah, this is Quandre Diggs will come up from his safety, and Macklin's going to come in on a dig route. Here's what I love about Quandre Diggs. Watch what he does with his arms. He wraps his arms. Instead of going for a knockout blow, you wrap your arms. When you wrap your arms, you have a better chance of knocking the ball out. Exactly what Quandre Diggs did on that particular play. Well done, Quandre.
I'll tell you, that was very, very close to being blocked right there by Kennebrew. And this is T.J. Jones, spun down at the 27. Tell you, yeah, you go back and look at that play. It was very close to being a catch.
Maybe they'll be talking about it on First Things First.
That's your old teammate.
There you go, CC.
Going back to your Ohio State University Buckeye days. Chris Carter. And then Nick Wright. And Jenna Wolf for the best morning sports show on television. They get together weekday mornings on FS1. I know you like to DVR that show and then contemplate some of the things they talk about later.
I do.
Reflect on them.
And also watch my man Shregs getting the inside info on the NFL. Our insider.
Taya Shregs, back-to-back weekends. You know, close to his hometown in Jersey where we were last week for the Panthers and the Jets, and now the town where he met his bride and got married. And I tell you, in both towns, he's a big league operator.
Can't go anywhere without anybody calling his name.
I know it.
Autographs. All about Schrager. Always has been with his crew.
Big league guy, Spillman. Big league guy.
Always has been.
Second down and 4. Ball batted in the air, and it's incomplete. And a flag comes down. I think that Henry may have had a late hit on Stafford. Henry looking around saying, wait a minute
Personal
now.
foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 69. 2 steps into the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You have to know what you're doing. Judon does a good job of not getting the quarterback, but then getting his hands up, and you see 69. Henry beats Barclay with a quick swim, and you got to pull off. You just have to do that. You know better than that. They're going to protect those guys, and you got to be smarter than that. That's a mental error on the Ravens, and you don't want to give Matthew Stafford all these chances. He's very comfortable coming in from behind in the ball game.
It's a great point. That would have been a third down coming up for the Lions. Instead, it's an automatic first down. Wide receiver screen and snuffed out beautifully. Michael Pierce was there along with Kennedy, who's filling in for the injured Jimmy Smith.
Kennedy does a nice job of Marlon Humphrey, but Kennedy comes in, plays their nickel back. So he's the Quandre Diggs of the Ravens, and he's played a nice game today. Outstanding tackler, plays with great effort, especially on those screen passes.
And he's only playing in his 4th game. He was inactive the first 8 weeks of this season with a knee injury. Just his 2nd year out of Virginia.
See, they have Hebron over here helping Robinson if he needs it. See the chip.
Got rid of that ball quickly, and that is Golden Tate, and he is in Raven territory to the 45. It brings up 3rd down and a yard again, and here we go. They failed on a 3rd and a yard a moment ago. They're 4 of 12 on 3rd down and a yard this season.
They bring in number 43, Nick Ballore, the blocking fullback, linebacker by trade. Say that little quick screen pass, people complain about the Lions running game. That's their running game. Get the ball into Golden Tate in short space. Who's going to win the battle up front? Playoffs are won and lost in these type of plays. Line up and find out who's tougher. Be a play action. Play action.
Play action is right. And it is a first down reception made by Ebron to the 32-yard line.
Why I said play action, because I'm putting myself in the huddle and I'm saying, look, they know they can't get it. They're not confident running the football. Alert play action, alert play action. And it's a nice matchup again with good route by Ebron pushing off on C.J. Mosley and finding the open space. Excellent call by Jim Bob Cooter. Man, I knew that was, oh, I felt that one. Come on.
You'd have been out there yelling at your teammates, right?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, big play action. Bird, bird, bird. That means the ball's in the air. Rabbit means it's on the ground. If you yell bird, 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 it's pass.
That's something I think that even those of us a little short can understand. Bird, ball's going to be in the air. And these are terms you used as a player, right down on the field. Rabbit means they're going to run it.
Yeah. You just kind of felt that, though, because I know you mentioned the stat, right? 4 out of 12 on 3rd downs, on 3rd and 1s. They're not good. You know you got Brandon Williams and Pierce inside there. It was all set up for the play action. That's just the kind of gut instincts that coaches and players have.
Looking down the field, and that's Golden Tate. And he is wrapped up, still on his feet. And he's close to the 5-yard line. Lardarius Webb able to drag him down. We check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, it's been a close game throughout. The Vikings have retaken the lead. Kyle Rudolph, a little 6-yard score from Case Keenum. His 3rd touchdown in the last 2 games. More importantly, the Vikings are up 14-9 as they start the 4th quarter. Tom, Chris, and Peter.
Just heard a great story about all the work that Kyle Rudolph is doing at Children's Hospital up there. He's from my hometown in Cincinnati there and has a lot of friends, and ran into a family friend of his the other day who was talking all about him. Great kid. All right, 1st down and goal. And this is Tion Green. And Green is close to the end zone. His 1st career touchdown. And all of a sudden, the game is on here in Baltimore. The Lions a pair of touchdowns here in this 3rd quarter. And a point after away from a 6-point game.
It's amazing when a young man gets an opportunity to do something. Led by Taylor Deckers, he's going to pull out off the crackback by Golladay. Decker's going to get a nice kick out, and Tion Green, I'll tell you, your first game as an NFL player, you see the end zone that close, it's going to be hard to keep him out. How about Golden Tate out there? Marlon Humphrey sealing him inside. Golden Tate doing more than yards after catch, throwing a block for his buddy to get his 1st career touchdown.
Tion Green, a college free agent out of the University of Cincinnati. He grew up down in Sanford, Florida. He had a 33-yard run, his 1st touch as an NFL player, and now his 1st touchdown in the National Football League. Prater, the point after. And you have got to be kidding me. I mean, this guy, along with the other guy, Tucker, have been the 2 best kickers arguably in this league. A short missed field goal and another kick attempt, this one a point after, which he hooks to the left. We're back in 30 seconds after this. So Tion Green with a touchdown, and he's right back to special teams. That's how you earn your way into this National Football League. You know, but back to Prater. I mean, we had a little bit of rain this morning, but they have been 2 good snaps, 2 good holds. Field conditions are perfect. The weather's great. I mean, he has just flat blown it twice today. And this is Chris Moore from a yard out of his own end zone. And up to the 27. Well, when you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, I didn't know you were on this show. That would be Jason Whitlock and Colin Calvert. Weekdays at 5. Speak for yourself. 5 Eastern. Only on FS1.
Ravens got to get back to their confidence now and not play close to the vest, but go ahead and keep playing like you played in the 1st half. Be aggressive on 1st downs. Be aggressive attacking down the field. You see Matt Prater there disgusted with himself because he's got a high standard, as he should, because he's a great kicker. I know he's upset about that.
Well, let's do the math on this a minute, okay? As Macklin has a 1st down. The normally very, very reliable Prater has missed a field goal. He's missed a point after. You put those 4 points on the board right now, Lions are a field goal away from tying this game.
Here the misses right here. And both of them, he hooked to the left. Same miss both times.
We've seen Prater so good for so long. And now Flacco rolls, and the catch is made by Woodhead. That'll be a gain of 8 on 1st down.
Well, a little surprised by Tease Tabor is actually playing the nickel because Diggs is back there playing safety. Right there, anytime you get some type of rollout in that situation, you have to go ahead and lock up man-to-man. They're playing zone, and Tease will learn this as he gets older. But once you see that rollout and Flacco's running out of room, you turn your eyes and you find the closest man to your zone. Then you front him up like a basketball player, like you're denying an entry pass.
Tabor grew up in D.C., went to Friendship Collegiate Academy. First down, Collins able to avoid a tackle. And then is stuffed to the 47-yard line. And that'll be enough for a first down for Alex Collins.
Well, Hayden's going to be upset with himself. He's going to come up and fill on a crackback block. His job is once this guy cracks, he replaces and comes right now. Watch the move that Alex Collins puts right there. The little jump cut right there, catches Hayden flat-footed. And again, he's going to run with anger and purpose. That move right there, beautiful.
And now it's Buck Allen's turn. A gain of close to 10 on what will be more than likely the final play of this third quarter. In Baltimore for the first time in this quarter has something going on.
I'll tell you, Skura had a nice block. First-year player out of Duke on a trap. A trap is when you have a puller from the backside, letting the lineman come up the field, then you whack him from the side. Skura with a great block to spring.
Into the third quarter, the Lions have climbed back into this thing. Fox NFL continues after a word from your local Fox station. Baltimore 13 unanswered in the third quarter. The Lions climb back in it. But the Ravens have the football on the move at the Detroit 37-yard line, and they give it to Allen. And he's inside the 35, down to the 33. Not one time in the third quarter did Joe Flacco target his leading receiver today, Mike Wallace. Wallace hoped over 100 yards in a game, 5 catches and 116 yards. It's only the second time all year long he's gone over the 100-yard mark. The other time was against Oakland back in early October. Second down and 7. They're coming after Flacco. And the ball is loose. And the Lions have recovered. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, the rookie. Or are they saying it's an incomplete pass? They're saying incomplete pass. And we'll take a look at it. They might want to hurry up to the line of scrimmage here.
Well, Jared Davis along with Zettel is going to come in, and that arm looks like it was going forward, but I love what Terrell Austin is doing.
Well, they hurry up to the line of scrimmage, and left all alone in the middle of the field is Chris Moore. And he's down to the 10-yard line. So the Lions simply were not ready on defense. Flacco got him up to the line of scrimmage to maybe avoid a challenge on the call.
See all these eyes? Look at this. Nobody knows what's going on. It's a miscommunication. Well done by Flacco to get the play off. There's no idea what's going on in the coverage. Great recognition by Flacco to get a play called. Every defender in the back end of the Lions defense was looking to the sidelines trying to get the communications.
And that's what happens when a team might be thinking about challenging a play. Guys drift. But how big is the missed field goal and the point after right now? Woodhead in among the trees sneaks down to the 6-yard line, maybe the 5-yard line, and brings up second down and goal.
Now, with 2 touchdowns, the Ravens on play action pass out of run, right? Both times to the right side. You figure if I'm Baltimore, I'm running it again because I want to see if they have their problem fixed. Do they understand how to defend a play action pass? We'll see if that comes.
They're going to run it to Collins, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Alex Collins. And a tug of war. That's a pretty good one there.
That's not bad.
That's a good one.
Now, what else is pretty good is Jeremy Maclin's block on Darius Slay. You got the big fella, 42. He's going to always take you to the football. Run or pass, Ricard's going to take you the ball. Now watch Maclin come in on motion. He's going to stick on Darius Slay, trying to get the ball back inside. Poor pursuit angle by the Lions. And these running backs for the Ravens, they run with purpose. They run like it's the last time they'll ever carry a football.
You're right. Point after by Tucker is good. So now a 14-point margin after the touchdown carry by Collins. To stretch the lead. Santa mixing up the wardrobe color a little bit.
Oh, I love it. Purple. Team guy. Team guy. I like it.
That's what you like right there.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Masked man.
It takes commitment.
Need some commitment on the Lions right now. They're used to this type of game. We'll see if they come back.
Well, early on, it was not a comedy of errors, but a number of things that you just can't do if you're in the playoff hunt. Whether it's mishandling a snap, fumbles, and then finally the third quarter, they woke up. A touchdown run by Riddick, and then Green, his first career touchdown, to get within 6.
Tom, don't forget that. Remember that first fumble snap by Stafford took them out of field goal position, so that's another 3 points, possibly off the board for the Lions.
And now they trail by 14. But a long way to go in this one. Nearly an entire quarter, and Stafford among the very best. And that's Jones to come back and get it. And that'll be a penalty on Humphrey, which will be declined, of course. And that's what we mean about this Detroit Lions team. Stafford has now completed remarkably 18 passes in a row. 18 in a row.
Oh, that's
Pass interference. Defense number 29. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
you see right here, and Stafford right now, he's got a big bullseye on Humphrey. Anything downfield, Humphrey's having a hard time matching up with the size and the adjustment in the air on the football by Marvin Jones Jr. And so he's going after him. That's the target.
Career high, 18 consecutive completed passes by Stafford. And now the Lions at the Ravens' 28-yard line. And this is Theo Riddick inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line.
And they're not only going after him with run, but they attacked him right there on the pass. They brought the receiver inside, crackback block, just like we saw with Hayden, the Lions did. You have to be able to fill right away, become a run support player. He was a little hesitant. That's why Riddick was able to pick up 5. They're going after 29. He's got to rise to the challenge. He's good enough. Got to believe in yourself.
He is the youngest Raven, Marlon Humphrey, at just 21. Well, they are burning a lot of time. And I know there's a lot of time left, and that's 35 seconds. And the catch is made down near the goal line. And I think the knee come down for Michael Roberts. That is only his second catch all year long and his first since week 4.
Well, the rookie out of Toledo is working on number 29. And so you have to recognize that as a defensive coordinator and try to give him some help, because that's the attack point. And Stafford, once he senses weakness, he will go for the kill.
You and I both agree that Roberts has a chance to be a good player.
I think he's going to be really good.
Down the road. Tion Green trying to shove him into the end zone. He's short inside the 2, down to the 1. Maybe even inside the 1, depending on the spot. Second down and goal with 10:44 to play.
Everything is earned down here, especially with that front of the Ravens. Talking about Pierce, Davis, Williams. You got to get low. Low man wins in this type of situation. As linebackers, you got to jump over the top, anticipate. Play action.
Going to throw it wide open, and that will be a touchdown. Nick Bellore, the backup middle linebacker, who checks in on offense, and Chris brought up a little while ago. And Bellore with a touchdown.
As a linebacker, what you have to read is his shoulders. If his shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage, it's run. If his shoulders turn this way, it's a pass. Watch the angle that he releases in his shoulders. He's not blocking anybody out there. You have to play run first in that situation at all times. Your man-to-man takes precedent over any run responsibility.
That is the first career touchdown for Nick Bellore. And the point after this time is good. It is a 7-point game. They hit the big ball to Jones, and Bellore, the linebacker, with a touchdown. Do a little work on Terrell Suggs' knee down there. Appears to be okay. Well, you talk about, here we are in December, and it's normally guys that, you expect to. Veteran guys or guys that have been playing a position all year long or playing regularly. For Bellore, that is his first ever touchdown. He's a linebacker now. He did have one other reception in his career back in his days with the New York Jets. But that's just his second career catch, his first career touchdown. And breaking out of the pack.
Vince Mayle, tight end.
Tight end, fourth tight end on this roster, and he's up to the 45. I mean, there's so much at stake as we're zeroing in on these final 5 weeks of this season. Told you Baltimore right now would be in as a final wild card spot, but look at the teams right on it. You got Buffalo tied, in essence, a tie break belonging to Baltimore, but you have the Bengals, the Chargers, and the Raiders all just one game behind.
Yeah, the Chargers seem to be the flavor of the week and could go 6-6 as they play the Brownies later this afternoon. Brownies are due, though.
First down, Flacco to throw it.
Nice pass.
And the catch is made by Chris Moore. That'll be a gain of 8 on first down. 10 minutes to go.
I love the call, Tommy, by Marty Morningwig. Again, first down, staying aggressive, throwing the football off of play action. Slowed down the pass rush because Flacco's been under duress the past few series. Excellent call.
Of course, he's a former head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Sure is.
Back in 2001 and 2002. Collins picks up a couple of yards. It brings up third down. Look at Terrell Suggs over on that sideline. He has gathered his entire defense around him.
It's a lot of wisdom right there and a lot of experience. And guess what? He's a fourth down gamer. 11.5 sacks in fourth quarters and overtimes. He usually gets things done, but this is a huge third down. I look for the Lions to bring some type of pressure. That's when they've had the most success of defending Flacco.
Big play here. Third down and 2. Play action. They lay it off for Collins, and it'll be a first down. And he's stopped at the 34-yard line. So you find a way to get a field goal here, you're going to make it mighty tough.
Here's the details. Watch him cut right here, Tom. Get his hands down. He's going to come out and cut to clear the way for Collins to get in the backfield. See all those guys? Those are low blocks on purpose. The reason why they're low blocks is it forces the defensive linemen to get their hands down to protect themselves as opposed to getting their hands up in the air to block the pass. Details. Beautiful.
Right now you'd be looking at about a 52-yard field goal attempt. They'll obviously try and do better than that. Allen maybe picks up 2. Peter Schrager, I guess you had a chance to eavesdrop on that meeting called by Terrell Suggs.
Yeah, Tom, and it was true leadership exhibited. He brought in every member of the defense, said you have to put behind everything that just happened. Winning football, we need to execute. Forget everything that has happened the last few drives. Now is what matters. Let's go out and do the thing.
Suggs is playing in his 209th game as a Baltimore Raven today, all 15 years of his career. Christian Ringo, backup defensive tackle, is the injured Lion. Will step out and we'll be back in a moment. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, sellout crowd. And the Ravens at 6-5. Trying to go to 7-5. They lead by 7. And it's a second down at the Lions' 32-yard line. Right now you'd be looking right around a 50-yard field goal try from Justin Tucker. They give it to Allen and lose a yard or 2. So now third down. Flacco, a season best, 269 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Coming into this game, he had 4 games where he didn't throw a single touchdown, 9 games where he threw 1 or none. Today is only his 3rd game of throwing 2 or more.
And he looks very confident the way he's played today. I expect some type of pressure right here by the Detroit Lions. And one thing Flacco does not want to do is take a sack.
Flacco gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. So now you're looking at right around a 50, 51-yard field goal try. And make no mistake, Justin Tucker certainly has that in the arsenal. He is 4 of 6 from 50 and beyond this season.
Just watching him kick in practice, the ball just booms off of his foot. It's really the most unique sounding thing I've ever seen in kickers. Not that I pay a lot of attention to him, but you can't help but pay attention to one of the greatest kickers of all time, and Justin Tucker.
No doubt, and he's done it in just 6 years. All right, this is a big one here. 51-yard attempt. Look at this guy. I mean, this is money. We were talking driving over here before the game today, and somebody said you had to have one kicker on your team today. Who would it be? And everybody in the car said this guy.
Yeah. He's certainly living up to that right now.
And that takes it from a 7-point game to a 10-point game. He was just named the AFC's Special Teams Player of the Month. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
How about John Harbaugh? Come up through the ranks through special teams. It's no wonder Baltimore's known for their outstanding special teams. Jerry Rosburg, of course, leading the special teams for the Ravens.
Hey, when you have Tucker, and I don't want to take anything away from Coach Rosburg, but you got Tucker and Cook, you're going pretty good to start it.
Yeah, they cover pretty well, too.
They're pretty good. But, you know, he'll reach into that bag of tricks now. A couple of times this year he's asked his punter to throw passes, and both times he's completed them, including last week. And that was a big play in that game when they had the 22-yard reception from Cook to Chris Moore in that victory on Monday night. This is Zach Center. And Center still on his feet up to the 27-yard line. Still a long time to go. 10-point game. Now, the Lions came in 1 game behind Atlanta. Atlanta is losing today to Minnesota. That is a 14-9 game with 30 seconds left in the game. Seattle, of course, will play later tonight. That's a big game tonight against Philadelphia. But very important for Detroit. By the way, the Minnesota game is now a final. Atlanta goes to 7-5. So Detroit, with a win, if they can come from behind, would tie things up at 7-5.
There's a lot of time left for Matthew Stafford. He's known for his fourth quarter heroics and comebacks. Marlon Humphrey playing nice and soft, keep everything in front right here.
Stafford's completed 20 straight passes, and he is sacked to the 19-yard line by the man who called that meeting just a short while ago. One of the all-time greats in Terrell Suggs.
Leverage wins. Low man wins. Hands inside win. Suggs is going to get Robinson off balance. See his hands inside? Pushes him back, then comes off on a strong inside move with good pressure from Kennedy off the edge.
For Suggs, that's now 7 seasons he's had 10 or more sacks. And Stafford rolling. Just slings it down the field. And it is intercepted by Humphrey. And he's down to the 30. And with 6:01 to go, they're smelling a win, and Stafford is very slow to get up.
Well, the pressure forces Stafford out. Marlon Humphrey in tight coverage is known as one thing. I'm not getting beat deep because he figures going to attack deep. And right here, understands his safety. Weddle is over the top to help him and does a great job of going up and playing the football. Excellent leverage by Humphrey, responding to the challenge, having a short memory, and coming back, like Suggs said, forget everything that happens and make a play when a play needs to be made. Let's see the hit that Stafford takes. He falls on his right hand from Willie Henry.
Strong first down carry to get to the 25-yard line by Collins. Collins is closing in on 60 yards rushing. He has not eclipsed 60 yards rushing in a game over the last 3 weeks. Of course, it's a right ankle that's been bothered by Stafford of late.
See that right hand kind of gets pinned down as Willie Henry comes on top with his full weight.
Yep. It almost spiked him, it looked like. Stepped right on that hand.
Akeem Spence getting a little jumpy.
Encroachment, defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty resulting in a first down.
Let's check in back in LA with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Little preview. Eli Manning not starting for the first time since 2004. Instead, Geno Smith will be under center against the Raiders. Then most of you will see Cam Newton in the 8-3 Panthers against Drew Brees and the 8-3 Saints. Winner of that one takes the top spot in the NFC South. Tom?
Big time game right there, Carolina and New Orleans. We saw the Panthers a week ago. That's a good team.
Yeah, really good on the defensive side.
And this is Collins. Cuts it back inside the 10. Still on his feet. And run out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Baltimore looking for a flag over there.
Well, I love the way, first of all, how he protects the football. They're going to get good blockers up front. And Collins just is nice and patient. Then he has a great burst into the hole. Uses his stiff arm effectively. Smart football player, not going out of bounds. And when the gang tackling comes, does a good job of covering up and securing the football. Look at that, high and tight, so he knows that guys are coming after the ball because he has that rep of putting it on the ground.
First down and goal for the Ravens. And Allen smothered behind the line of scrimmage by Tyre Whitehead, the Lions' leading tackler.
See Matthew Stafford getting his hand checked, and you can say a lot of things about Matthew Stafford. I think he's a great competitor and a talent, but the thing that you can never call him is soft, because he's one tough dude, man. He really is.
Well, we mentioned with Eli Manning's streak of 210 consecutive games starting coming to an end, as he's going to walk back into the locker room. Stafford today has the third longest consecutive game started streak among quarterbacks in the NFL. It's his 108th in a row, behind only Matt Ryan directly in front of him. And how about Phillip Rivers? 187 straight starts.
Yeah, it's consistency, availability.
Flacco will throw it away, and a penalty flag comes in the corner of the end zone. Darius Slay looking around saying, "Are you staring at me?"
It's a little bit of a holding call.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 23.
That's him, Darius Slay.
Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Everything was a setup, and you're going to see Slay right here working on Macklin. And let's see if we can see where the grab is. He's going to come out and do a nice job of adjusting on a route. I think the left hand of Darius pulls that shoulder inside.
So the ball will be spotted at the 6-yard line, and there you get a look at Jake Rudock, the backup quarterback, who has not thrown a single pass in his NFL career. He's come into play in 2 games this year. They pitch it to Collins, and he will find the end zone. Saw Spielman do a little bit of that Irish dance last night.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a number of guys on our crew on Friday night.
That's what I hear. How about the big former defensive lineman, Ricard, getting the lead block? We're going to down. He's going to lead. And Glover Quinn is going to have a tough duty trying to take on the big fella. Look at the big fella get outside. No shot, giving up that corner. He smells that end zone, Tom. He will not be denied. Offensive explosion by the Ravens.
Boy, you're not kidding. I mean, through all the ugly numbers, they're still averaging 21 a game. Now, that's not, world beater stuff,
right,
but it's 18th. It's roughly middle of the pack in the league. But all of a sudden today they go for 37, and there's still 4 minutes left to go in this game. And you were talking about visiting with Joe Flacco and him wanting to open this thing up a little bit more and getting together with Marty Waringwig, and a lot in the local press felt like that he was really frustrated after that game on Monday night. We'll get back to that in a second. For the time being, let's check back in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Guess what? In his first start with the Niners, Jimmy Garoppolo finds Trent Taylor for a 33-yard gain, which sets up this. Former Bear Robbie Gould hits a 24-yard field goal for the win, 15-14 in Garoppolo's first win under center. Tom?
Well, Robbie Gould, what a great kicker he was in Chicago, and they just let him go. Meanwhile, for these Ravens, and we made the comment earlier, look, 37 is a huge number, all right? If this team finds a way with this defense to score 27, now you're talking something going on.
The other thing that remains to be seen, and I think, one of the most valuable positions in the NFL are cornerbacks, right? And you're losing a really good corner in Jimmy Smith, who unfortunately hurt his Achilles. And Marlon Humphreys, who struggled early, came back and made a big interception. He's got to grow up now for this Ravens defense to be its best. And that's why he was drafted #1. So he's going to be challenged, and I'm sure his history will tell us that he will rise to that challenge.
The other thing they have is Kennedy is starting to play very well
He's
after being
really
injured
good.
the first day. And let's don't forget, Lardarius Webb was a cornerback his entire career until a year ago. And so I'm sure he hasn't forgotten how to play there if they need some help. Rudolph's first pass in the NFL is a completion to Golden Tate. Rudolph started his college career at the University of Iowa and then wound up transferring to the University of Michigan, where he had an outstanding final year and was drafted in the 6th round 1 year ago by the Lions. Crossing pattern right on the button to Galladay up to the 42-yard line, and now clock the enemy of the Lions. Down by 17 and only 3:24 to go. Lays it off to Riddick. Cuts it back to the inside. Caught from behind by Tony Jefferson.
He's been a nice pickup from the Cardinals. Tony Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
Leadership. Just watching him practice, competes. I love guys that compete on Friday afternoon. Tony Jefferson is one of those guys.
Tell you, the Arizona Cardinals have let some really good defensive players walk out the door. It's funny, a couple of years ago when they went to that Super Bowl, everybody said, well, this is one of the great-looking young teams. We got to the playoffs, got to the NFC Championship game 3 years ago, and everybody felt like that team was the next up-and-coming team. And then, before you know it, the whole thing starts to fall apart, and they're not even on the radar.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what also hurt them. And I know that you got to make moves and make tough decisions on veterans, but Calais Campbell was a force inside.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
you start letting guys walk out the door.
Doing well in Jacksonville. Or Saxonville, as they like to be called.
That's right. And they're rolling again today, 30-10 over Indianapolis. Rudolph able to step away from trouble, although a flag does come down. This might be coming back.
They're going to get Robinson, number 70, on the edge and doing his best to protect his quarterback.
Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Let's check in downstairs with Peter Schrager.
I wish I had great news for Lions fans as far as Matt Stafford goes, but he's out for the day. It's a hand injury. They're working on him inside. Hope to get another update, but guys, this does not look great.
No, and in fact, too,
He step on it right there. Yep, stepped right on it. And that's Suggs, 270 pounds.
Yeah, and that's, obviously that's his throwing hand, which is tough duty. Wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way to get it done.
He'll be ready. He'll be ready to go next week, unless there's something seriously wrong. Second week in a row, Stafford's been injured in the 4th quarter. Huge hit. Interception by Weddle, and he will go the distance in a touchdown.
Kennedy. That's a guy that's a player for this team. At least today he's a player. Making tackles, disrupting, hitting Rudock. Weddle with the easiest catch of his career. Kennedy's going to come on the blitz. Weddle's going to just read the eyes of Rudock and actually run a route for him. Rudock's going to throw to the outside. Weddle has a great break on it because Kennedy comes in and forces a shot on Rudock. Weddle celebrating the end zone with your teammates.
7th return for a touchdown this season for the Ravens. Boy, how about this? Who saw this coming? 44-20. Well, they had a great celebration a little while ago with Collins. What's this one look like? All right, this is Weddle. It's like a basketball drill, right? Spin move, jump shot, bang.
A triple team went fadeaway on him. Team Pease celebrating with John Harbaugh.
That looked like your daughter that fade away after going between the legs.
She can do that. She can do that.
When you average 30 a night, you better be able to do it.
Not quite that.
Well, it's not far off.
She better get 30 next game. Should be in the weight room at midnight shooting foul shots.
Well, you were the one who said last week if your daughters didn't know the difference between a zone blitz
All right.
and a man blitz, and they didn't eat dinner at night.
No.
Okay.
People actually take that seriously. Who knows?
Back in McCowntown, as we later
Downtown.
learned. New York Jets. Oh, boy. They've just gone inside the Kansas City 3-yard line with 2 minutes to go.
Ravens are getting it done in Schragertown.
We were surprised last week with all the talk about Eli Manning and this and that and everything else that there are actually some Jets fans now calling New York McCowntown.
Yeah. They believe in McCowntown. They're competitors, I'll tell you, and they're well coached. I think Todd Bowles does a great job. They're winning more games than was expected of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, if they win that game over Kansas City, the Jets get even closer in this wild card race. We thought they took a big hit last week when they lost that game, but Kansas City continues to labor, although right now they're still leading with 2 minutes to go by a point. 3 turnovers again for this Baltimore defense, giving them an NFL high 29 takeaways. And they have scored 21 points off those 3 takeaways today. 2-minute warning time. The Ravens trying to dance their way to the postseason. (44-20), the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams, this is a huge game, and you can tell who's on the short side of that scoreboard right now. Let's go back to Carissa Thompson in L.A.
Thanks, Tom. Not to add insult to injury here for Lions fans, but first drive at overtime, Aaron Jones wins it for the Packers with this 20-yard run. The final of 26-20. Tom?
Tell you what, Green Bay now all of a sudden at 6-6 back in the hunt in the NFC wildcard race. Our game today produced by Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Scopatone. Our Associate Director Alex Olson, our Broadcast Associate Jason Hurd, Michael Nathanson, our Technical Producing. Happy belated birthday to our Technical Director Dane Crawford. Thank our entire crew, including our statistician Tom Barbary and our spotter Scott Studley Snyder, and our entire crew. We rarely ever get into these AFC cities, Chris Spielman. We're going to be in back-to-back AFC North cities, and you look at the remaining schedule. They go to Pittsburgh, that's a tough one. But then you go to Cleveland, who's not won a game. Indianapolis having a down year. The Bengals, always a big rivalry game. Now the Ravens beat them the first game of the year, but the Bengals have owned the Ravens over the last number of years. But this is a very important win today for Baltimore.
And I think the fact that you're seeing an offense that's finally starting to come together. Receivers stepping up, tight ends, running backs are strong, and Flacco looks confident and comfortable.
State Farm game break coming up as the Ravens will just run out the clock and put this thing to bed. Got a big effort from their defense here today. By the way, this win will be the 92nd career regular season win for John Harbaugh, the 55-year-old Ohio-born Harbaugh. That ties him with a legendary Bill Walsh. How about that? 92 regular season wins.
Something to be said about stability, huh?
There's no
Trust.
doubt about that.
Believing in a guy. Ozzie Newsome, John Harbaugh, what a great job they've done of consistency down here in Baltimore.
44-20 the final. The Lions will go to 6-6. The Ravens go to 7-5 and will stay right there in the hunt for the AFC postseason. Lions still in this thing too. So for Chris Spielman, Peter Schrager, our entire crew, Tom Brenneman saying so long from Baltimore. It's time now for the State Farm Game Break Show. And let's send it to the guys in Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee, please take it away.